Self-healing, for all you lovely Reiki people out there, do you do it? Or are you one of those people for, oh, I don't know if I can be bothered with doing any of that? Or should I maybe do that later? Or I just never get the time? Or it's too complicated? Maybe just need a little bit of a formula and kind of consider why we do it in the first place. Would be a good start. And I know some of you who don't do Reiki might be looking at this right now and being a bit curious. Some of these you can do for yourself. It's a couple that you can't, but most of this will apply to you. And you'll find your own little way, your own little routine of a bit of self-healing. And I think it's important that we do take the time just to check out for number one. And a lot of Reiki healers, obviously, you may well be working with other people, other energies. So it really kind of like do yourself and your clients a favor by making sure you're working on you first, predominantly you, and then you can move on to give some healing to your clients and wherever else is needed. That's a great thing about Reiki. It doesn't have to be obviously just people. It could be animals, it could be the environment you're in, or just in everyday life, finding ways that it works for you. So the first thing when it comes to your own self routine, um, the first thing I want to say is keep it simple. Don't make it complicated. I see so many Reiki practitioners kind of like saying, right, I need to get exactly the right space, need to cleanse the space, I need to sage the building, bang the drum, ring the bell, whatever it is, and then say your prayer, your ritual, and anything else that comes to mind, which is fine. I'm not knocking that. If you've got time to do all that, be my guest. But let's not get too bogged down with rule, regulation, dogma. Instead, I would say to you, find something that works for you and keep it as bare bones as possible. For me, so if I wanted to keep it real simple, the most easiest thing in the world, say I've got an ache in my shoulder. Now I can call in the angels or whatever and spend 5 minutes doing that. Or I could literally just go like that and say, send some healing there, please. And just hold that space for as long as I need to. It's a great thing with Reiki. You can kind of do that. Of course, we all know there's ways you can amplify the energy and so on and so on. But really, if we just keep it simple and just send it that energy there, put our hands there, and kind of work that way, why not? Why wouldn't you do that? um, but yeah, especially if you're in a rush, you just haven't got time to do the whole connect with Reiki, build up for your tendon, build the energy, allow the energy to flow through your arms, and then put it on your hands or whatever. Or then you might think, oh, I need to go through the whole system. I need to work everything, and all you've got is an ache in your shoulder. Why not just work there straight away? So that's my advice. Like, keep it real simple. And for those who don't do Reiki, so you might have an ache in your shoulder. Oh, my shoulder's really giving me jip. So maybe you could just send intent now. And this is more meditation, isn't it? Get yourself in a nice meditative state and then just find yourself in a lovely energy and then just say, can I direct some energy towards my shoulder, please? At the end of the day, it can't do no harm, can it? And it may just give you the possibility of giving yourself a little bit of relief there. That's my advice to you. Simple, simple, simple. That for me works every time. And I don't need to get a blooming degree in spirituality to work out what routine I'm going to do. So let's go from that. The second thing I like to do as well, it's like I'm going to do self-healing. Make the focus on you. So what do you mean by that, guys? So what do you mean focus on self-healing? It's obvious. No, but our thoughts can get distracted, can't we? And so when I'm saying focusing on you, this is where you set yourself a little bit of time each day to kind of like put that little bit of time for you. It doesn't have to be sort of like, half hour, an hour every day. It could be like simple 10, 15 minutes. Just put in that space on you to send that healing where it's needed. And if you're thinking, I'm just feeling run down, I don't want to go through all the chakras, etc., put your hand on your heart and just say, can I just send some healing, please? And just either sit back, lie on the couch, whatever you've got to do, and just allow that healing to take place. Another alternative, you can put one hand here, and maybe one hand on your solar plexus and send the energy that way. But you may find your own way. You know, it's not for me to say your way's wrong or my way's right. We all have what works for us. So find something that works for you and make your attention on you. I would just say trying to get the energy as light as possible, as much of that beautiful golden light, bring that in. But the main thing is to make that time in the day. I mean, it's another thing as well, sort of like you want a space where if you can find it nice and quiet, maybe put some pleasant music on in the background. And I know this is a hard one, but maybe even just disconnect that mobile of yours. So I can't show you one because it's actually doing a recording with it. But you got your mobile, put it in airplane mode or whatever you got to do, record your video. After you finish, turn it back on again. And it's just a few minutes of your day just to kind of like make sure you're not disturbed. You're focusing on you. You're putting that effort into you. And I mean, it's just something you do. I mean, if you think about it, if it comes to the body and we got to work, some of us have got a regular workout routine, don't we? We'll go to the gym or indoors and things right for the next half hour or so. I'm going to sort of like energize myself by doing sort of like exercises. This is just another form of exercise routine, but it's an energetic exercise routine. It's your energy. And let's be honest, when you finish giving yourself Reiki, most of the time we're feeling good, aren't we? And again, for those who don't do Reiki, you can still focus on you. So my advice to you is, rather than do the Reiki routine, do a self meditation routine. Just bring in some light, send it where you want to send it. But again, it's making that time and the effort. We do, so unfortunately, I know it's a hard one, but we do need to put the effort in sometimes to get ourselves in that space and just make it all about you for that little period of time, that little pocket of time. It's you time. And the great thing is, you say, well, I need to do this for someone else. No, no, no. Build your energy up, and then you'll be able to serve better anyway. But serve yourself first, then the serving others comes after. Thirdly, when we do Reiki practice, or I do, maybe some don't do this, but when I connect the energy, I build it in an area called the Tenden or the Dantian, if you prefer. It's about sort of just below our belly button, about 2 fingers width below, and about a third of the way in as well into your energetic system. Breathe the energy in and just breathe. Allow it to build. Allow that energy to build. There's two reasons for that. Firstly, when you're sitting in that space, it's just a nice, warm, fuzzy feeling, and who doesn't want that? Just makes you feel good. You feel your own energy. You feel your connection to the energy. So that's the first thing as you build that energy. And two, it's just going to make your healing so much more effective because you're not sort of like putting wishy-washy energy in there. You built the energy up, so then it's going to flow to where it's needed. And again, we come back to point one. Keep it simple. Don't overcomplicate things. Just make the energy nice and light. Send the energy where it's needed and just feel that beautiful warm glow all where it's needed. And you can build the energy. And you can, if you want to, get a bit creative. So imagine you got the Reiki energy there. Just try what I do sometimes. I just spiral the energy like that. So what I'm doing here, I do this often sometimes in Qigong. It's a very similar kind of exercise, and you'll feel that. I'm feeling it now. It's like a beautiful magnetic energy coming into my hands and just flowing to where it's needed. So again, experiment. What I love about Reiki, we can experiment with it. So imagine then I've got this lovely ball of energy, and then I can send it where I want to. I can put it around my head, or in this case, I'm just going to send it straight into my heart space. So again, this is what you can do is build the energy. But again, I'm going to come to those people who are not attuned to Reiki. You can still do this. You can still build the energy. There's certain techniques that I would say you probably have to look at a few Qigong exercises. Check out Holden Qigong. I use that's who I subscribe to. He's brilliant. And he's fairly cheap as well, to be honest with you. And you can just go through those energy routines, build the energy in your hands, and then start to really feel your energy. So there's other ways of working and building the energy. Or again, just close your eyes and just send the energy to around where your navel is. even though you're not attuned to Reiki. I'll almost be very surprised if you don't feel anything. And just build the energy there. Just feel it getting stronger and stronger and stronger. And then send it to where it's needed. I'll be curious actually to see if anyone who's not attuned to Reiki, how that works for you. Let me know in the comments how that does for you. And those who are, of course, attuned to Reiki, do you do this practice yourself? Do you build the energy? Or do you just go straight in now? Which is fair enough. I'm not knocking any other styles. Please don't ever think that. I would never do that. But it's curious to know how we all work. Or maybe you do build the energy. And what are your experiences? I'd love to hear your thoughts. Okay, number 4 on the list. Now, this you really do need to be attuned to Reiki to feel the benefit of this one. But it's a routine called a Hatsune Ho. I did just put a video up, I believe it was a couple of days ago, where we go through the routine. It is quite a bit of silence because I like to work in silence as opposed to have a lot of noise going on to kind of like work with that. Be curious to know how you that works for you. Or you just ask that. Do you like silence or do you like a bit of music in the background? I'm kind of like pushing towards a silence if I'm honest. But Hatsureiho, as I'll come back to that main point, is like an exercise routine for your energy. So what we do, we get into the space of focusing in that we're going to do this routine. So it's literally you would say, I'm about to do Hatsureiho. We call this thing called dry bathing, which is sweeping down the arms and the torso to like clear the space, basically. It's like an energy, it's like brushing off dirty energy. That's how I would see it. So we clear our space that way. And then we have our hands on our laps. We just breathe energy, basically. Right, we connect to Reiki. After we connect to Reiki, we just feel the energy there. Just hold that space for a while. And then we go to the prayer position, forget about everything and just concentrate where your fingers meet. And then breathe in and out almost through your hands. That sounds a bit weird, I know. But that's what we're doing. And it's just cultivating energy. It's like energy cultivation is how I would like to do that. That is what Hatsureiho is. And I know some people in Reiki don't know what that is. When I first done Reiki, my original teacher didn't do this. I found that out later. But it is such an effective, nice way of working Reiki energy. Building up your connection, building up your power, for want of a better word, and feeling your connection. It's just a lovely thing. I do recommend if you do that every day, that'd be great. Now, if you're not attuned to Reiki and you think, well, I can't do all that, it's still do little things. You can still, again, just so what I would say to you guys is, and ladies, put your hands in your lap first. Maybe just feel the energy there. Put your hands in a prayer position, feel the energy there, and just have a play around. Just, I know it sounds funny, but breathe in and out through your hands. Just find out how does that feel. So this is like a little routine that we can all use and basically sort of like feel how that goes for you. So that is something called Hatsureiho. Check it out, see how you get on. And the fifth one is like when you're kind of like, now this can be done by anyone who's not attuned to Reiki as well as those who are. But let's imagine I'll speak to the Reiki people first. So when you're doing your self-healing, start to think, as you're doing your routine, start to think about the precepts, what they mean for you. So the Reiki precepts are, just for today, do not worry, be humble, be compassionate, be honest with yourself, and sort of don't be angry. That's a big one, the angry one. As you go through each of those perspectives, take time and maybe at the end of your self-healing, when you've all done and dusted, just ponder those precepts because they're important. They really are the foundations of our Reiki, aren't they? And it's not just Reiki, it's a perspective of life. And so again, this is where this applies just as equally to anybody else. If we could start looking at those precepts and tell yourself just for today, do not anger. What makes you angry? And then try and understand why is it making you angry? What's the trigger for that? Is it justified? Because sometimes I'm not saying we shouldn't be angry at times in our life. Sometimes it is justified. But a lot of the times it's like there's another reason, a true reason behind it. And then you go trying to dig a little bit deeper and say like, I shouldn't really be getting angry about that, should I? These are certain areas we can look at. Do not worry. You know, what worries are we doing? It's like, and the worst thing is anybody who knows anything about manifesting sort of like situations, for example, if you start getting to the energy of, oh, I'm worried about what's going to happen tomorrow, what's that? Oh, I've just had a test. What's going to happen? What are the results going to be like? You're basically putting that energy out there that it's saying like, well, I want to worry. I want things to worry about. And the universe goes, well, okay, then we'll oblige. We'll give you loads of things to worry about. So if we can just get into that perspective of get away from worrying, it will do us a world of good. It truly will. Because it's all about being present. These are what these precepts are really about. If I'm in the present moment, I can't be angry because I'm here. Whatever I was angry about is gone. It's like the worry. Why put my concerns into what may be happening in the future? There's no point. It's just a waste of energy. So bring that back to you. Um, and then we have like be compassionate to yourself. So this is another area we can look at in our lives where we can express compassion to others and to ourselves. We're always beating ourselves up. Let's try not to do that. Um, Being humble. You know, no one likes someone who's shooting off and saying, "Oh, look how great I am. I'm so wonderful." Because that, to me, I'm sure like most of us, I think I'll walk away from that person. Thank you very much. It is that kind of like area we don't really wish to go into. So I've just looked at a few of those perspectives there, how we can dig a little bit deeper. I know in the past I've done some videos on on the precepts. You can feel free to check them out. I've done them a while ago. I'll probably rerun them again at some point and go a little bit deeper on them. And then the last thing I want to say to you all really, with any practice that we do, be consistent. And this is not just in Reiki, this is in life. Keep turning up. Make the effort, make the time to kind of do this. I mean, if you're here now watching this, you're being consistent because you're making the effort to listen to my own thoughts, and they are my thoughts. I like to think these are proven strategies. They work for me, and hopefully they'll work for you too. But it is all about being consistent, turning up, and just keep taking the time to get into that routine. Routine is important in some respects. It's a bit of a tricky one, to be honest with you. I think it is routine. It is good to have a routine, but I don't want us to also get into the bogged down in doing stuff for the sake of doing it. Say, for example, it's not so great when you think, oh, I've got to do my Reiki routine. We don't want that energy. You've got to be in the energy. Yeah, I can't wait to do this Reiki kind of like sort of like routine I'm about to do. Just like what I'm doing this video, I'm here now thinking, yeah, I'm great. I'm the chance for me to share some thoughts. I love that. That is basically what it's all about for me and for you guys too. Anyway, that's my thoughts for today. I'd just like to say thank you very much for stopping on by. Appreciate it loads and keep checking the videos out because I'm now pivoting towards um, the Reiki energy. But also, there will be a lot of elements that aren't just about Reiki, but it will be that kind of focus. But I'm certainly getting that kind of like sort of like instruction. This is what you do, Gary. Oh, let's push that energy out there. Anyway, that's enough from me. Much love to you all. Take care, and I'll see you at the next one.